We're going to get started here today, everybody. Thank you for attending. My name is Marvo Regindan. I am the Vice President of AHANA. Please remain on mute until the end where we'll have a question and answer time. I want to welcome everybody to AHANA's third in a series of webinars titled Navigating Through COVID-19 and Beyond. This webinar series was made possible through a contract provided by the Department of Commerce. Today, we have Mr. Ben Cabildo presenting Building the Resiliency of Your Business. Ben is the founder of AHANA. He is now retired after all these years and a SCORE counselor, and he serves as AHANA's board president. So let me get the PowerPoint shared on screen, and I will be advancing slides for Ben, and I will let him take it away as soon as I get that going. So just a second, Ben. I'll share my screen and take it away, Ben.
Well, thank you, Marvo. Good afternoon, everyone. And I want to thank you for joining us today. This is our third webinar. And our topic today is building the resilience of your small business. And the definition of resilience is being able to bounce back to the path of success. Why are we talking about resilience of your business today? We're addressing this issue because the COVID-19 pandemic has fundamentally changed the world as we know it. No longer a normal market that we are used to. It is a new normal where our small businesses are facing tremendous challenges of not being able to open normally, and our customers are facing economic hardship due to unemployment, and our supply chain are diminished because of the danger of the pandemic to their workers. All of our business assumptions are being challenged and no longer true as it was prior to COVID-19. As a small business, you've likely calculated your operational dollars to last until you raise your next round of funding, assuming there was going to be a next round. That may no longer be true. We are faced with a major disaster of our businesses. However, we can push through this temporary crisis if we take the necessary steps that I will be sharing today to ensure that we can pull through and prepare ourselves for the next stage of our growth. Next screen, please. Resilience, the definition is the capacity to prepare for disruptions, recover from shock and stresses, and adapt and grow from a disruptive experience. COVID-19 economic recession and social turmoil will not stop us from existing and continue to serve our community. The multi-ethnic business, despite all the challenges and barriers that you face, you're still here kicking and screaming and doing business because we are a community of resilient business owners and entrepreneurs. No matter what type of disaster you encounter, being resilient can help you get through the storms and come out strong. Next slide, please. I would say that our timing for this webinar is just right. COVID-19 pandemic has fundamentally changed the world. As I said, the world has been turned upside down. All our assumptions about customers, our sales cycles, and most importantly, revenue, burn rate, and cash flow projections are no longer accurate. If you're a startup, you likely calculated your cash funding to last until you raise your next round of funding. But you might not get that next round of funding because people are living differently, buying differently, and in many ways thinking differently. Supply chains have been stressed. Retailers are closing their doors. Consumers across the globe are looking at products and brands through a brand new lens. This virus is reshaping the consumer good industry in real time, rapidly accelerating long-term underlying trends in the space of mere weeks. Many research indicates that the new habits formed now will last beyond this crisis, permanently changing what we value, how and where we shop, and how we live and work. And we put this webinar today to ensure that we make it through this crisis, is come out as resilient as we have been. So in dealing with this crisis, I will talk about 3 basic ways to build the resilience of our business in today's situation. The first one is make changes to your business model. Whether you have it written or not, you have a business model that you have been following all these years that you are in business. So we have to revisit that and make changes to your business model. The second way to build resiliency is to access available resources, both financial and legal. And then the third one is don't do it by yourself. Visit your mentors and business counselors. So these are the 3 things that I will be talking to you today. So next one, please. So our first topic for today in building your, changing your business model is to reassess your customers' needs. It's about your customers. And it's part of the commandment of business, know thy customers. Your customers are no longer the same customers as you had before. Your customers today is now known as customers in crisis. So getting to know your customers in crisis is very crucial to your business. Customers today are deeply concerned about the impact of COVID-19, both from health and economic perspective. People are responding in a variety of ways and have differing attitudes, behavior, and purchasing habits. People across the globe are afraid that they strive to adopt a new normal. Fear is running very high as individuals contemplate that this crisis means for them, but more significantly, what it means to their families, friends, and society at large. Your customers in crisis today are living differently, buying differently, in many ways thinking differently. Consumers across the globe are looking at products and brands through a brand new lens. What, why, what, and how consumers buy is changing. Consumers' priorities have become centered on the most basic needs, sending demands for hygiene, cleaning, and staple products soaring, while non-essential categories are slumping. The factors that influence brand decision are also changing as a buy local trend accelerates. Digital commerce has also seen a boost as new consumers migrate online for grocery shopping, a rise that is likely to be sustained post the outbreak. In times like this, our priorities have changed. Our needs for the basic necessities of life takes precedence. It is no surprise that personal health is the top priority for the consumers. So if you're in business promoting personal health, this is a good time for you. Food and medical security, financial security, and personal safety are all the leading priorities for folks. And these habits will prevail today and after the crisis. Finally, unemployment has grown in many markets. American workers have suffered massive damage to their capacity to earn a living. For businesses, unemployment will affect the ability of the consumer base to buy goods or services, pay rent, or repay debts. Furthermore, consumers are responding to the crisis in a variety of ways. Some feel anxious and worried, fueling panic buying of staples and hygiene products. At the other extreme, some consumers remain indifferent to the pandemic, are continuing their business as usual despite recommendation from the government and health professionals. As a business owner, you need to understand how your own consumers are reacting and develop customized and personalized marketing strategies for each. The day of one size fits all on marketing are over. So based on this new assumptions, based on your customers in crisis, how will you engage with them that is effective and productive? It's very important at this time for businesses to redefine your relationship with your customers. And as you all know, building trust is paramount. I have no doubt that many of you business owners are prioritizing your customers' trust. And this very real health risk of COVID-19 takes the need for more transparency and authenticity to the new heights. You need to communicate with your customers that you are maintaining a clean facility, which is part of the equation of welcoming your customers when you open up your business. And on a broader level, it's likely customers will choose to buy from businesses they view as ethical and have their best interests in mind, quality service over profitability. You need to do this with your customers in crisis. Like I said, things have changed. And you need to remind them of your value proposition of customers being first, their safety is being first over your profitability. So your action during this and post-pandemic could have a direct impact on your bottom line. So it's very important to have your business know the pulse of the public sentiment. Take action now to help your customers and your community. Show them in action that you care for their safety and protection. And I feel bad for the misinformed businesses who are taking an opposition to the health professionals about COVID-19, because it really should show what they care about, and they are not really caring for the security and safety of their customers. As you know, Borracho Taco place over there on 3rd, on Main and Division, open up their business. And I think they were over 24 people that got contaminated with COVID-19. You know, that is really bad for their customer base. And I think it's going to be bad for their future. And I don't know what kind of liability they're facing because of that contamination. There are other folks that are doing well because they've done right actions for the safety and the benefit of the community. A pizza place in Spokane went out of the community and provided free pizza to all the frontliners. And that speaks a lot. People found out about it and are really looking at that. I have a client who runs an upholstery business, and he put aside his business of making major upholstery repairs and started making protective masks and gave them out to firefighters and nurses. And AHANA, our organization, are very actively involved in our community, participated in giving away hundreds of PPEs to multi-ethnic businesses in Spokane, as well as helping them access grants and loans. So when you're dealing with your customers in crisis, it's very important to show them in action that you care for their safety and protection. Okay? So that's how you deal with your customers in crisis. And I'm pretty sure there will be more innovative ways of helping them out during this crisis. Remember what I said, quality service over profitability. They are on survival mode, and the businesses should be on survival mode as well, not on profitable mode. So this crisis is not about making profit, it's about surviving so that you can go to the next level. And your customers are in the same boat. and they need to see you empathize with their situation. Okay, next slide, please. Now let's move to our next, now let's shift gears and start looking at your business, which is part of the business model, your value proposition. Next slide, please, Marvel. Okay. What is value proposition? Value proposition is your promise to your customers. What you deliver addresses their needs or desire. If your products and services is not addressing their needs at this time of crisis, you have to make some temporary changes to your products or services. As I said earlier, your customers are living differently, buying differently, and many ways thinking differently. So you might make some changes to your products and services, or you might want to target another segment of your customers. Find new customers for new products and services. And there are many examples that's been reported how a lot of businesses are doing this. I told you about my client who does upholstery. He continues to do his upholstery, but not much money coming in. So he changed his products to making masks. And he's bringing in dollars to sustain his business, but not as much as he was doing before. But he's doing it right because profitability is not his priority right now. The safety of his consumers and new customers. There's a gin maker on Trent and Hamilton. It's called Dry Fly. And you know they make gin for drinking. So they started making hand sanitizers to help the community, and they became pretty well known throughout because of this action. Okay, so that's really a good example. Restaurants are changing how they're doing business as well. They're now providing delivery and curbside pickup and not sitting people in their restaurants. Retail stores are doing the same thing, making packaging bundles products, delivery and convenient pickup. I just bought a small freezer to add to our equipment at home. I just ordered it and picked it up on the curbside. Pretty easy. It took about less than 5 minutes. So that's really, really good. And you know, I was pretty happy because I didn't want to go inside the store because there were many people, and you know, I have a compromised system. So that, you know, that means a lot to me. Consulting businesses are using emails, Zoom meetings, and phone instead of visiting clientele. Okay, so there are countless of examples, you know, that's taking place. because this pandemic caused recession is very different than our previous recessions. Because we are not only social distancing, but we're also staying home. So which products will drive in recovery? What new products could your company develop to better meet customer needs in the future? You need to, as they say, pivot your business to continue to be relevant to your customer base. If you lose your relevancy to your customer base and you don't want to make change or you can't make change, it is best to close down your business because you're going to suffer more not addressing the needs of your customers in crisis. So your new value proposition should be being relevant to your customer base. So I want you to think about that when you're looking into your business. Are you relevant or are you not? And if you're not relevant, you know what to do. Next, please. So the next one is about your business operations and your business model. What operational changes do you need to make to satisfactorily meet the need of your customers when you're changing your value proposition? Do you need to make changes to how you deliver your services and products to your customers? Are you designing a customized and personalized experience for your customers? How are you planning to enrich your customers' experience with your products and services, or new products or services? Are you creating a super easy process of buying or returning products that they purchase? How do you engage your client? Do you have the proper technology and tools to communicate and do your business with your client base? These are the questions that you need to answer to continue being relevant to your customers. Now let's talk about your workforce need. It's part of your operations. Are you making changes to your business operations to make it safer for your employee to continue working during this pandemic? You need to be both government compliant and more. Those are your family, your employees. And your employees do their job at home and through the internet. Do you have to redesign the process of how do they work so that they can do it away from the office and be productive at the same time? How about redesigning their jobs to meet your customers' needs more effectively and expeditiously. How about reevaluating your team? It's inevitable during the downturn of business, downturn of the of our economy, that businesses are forced to lay off folks. You always hope that those situations are temporary, but the bigger question you should be asking yourself, however, is do you have the right people on your team to deliver the services and products? Are the people on your team the ones who will be ready, fire up, and carry your organization into the recovery? Dealing with this crisis is a great time to evaluate someone's character. Are they shrinking away or stepping up? Being a combat veteran, I've always liked to ask the question, is this someone that I would want next to me in a foxhole? Answering that question honestly, as things start to heat up, might be the difference on how quickly your business will recover. This is also the time to reevaluate how you communicate with your employees. As you revise your sales revenue goals and product timelines and create a new business model and operating plan, it is crucial that you communicate this clearly to your employees. And make sure you keep focused on achievable plans that they clearly understand. So if you're a large company, the first option to cut the salaries will be of higher paid executive employees, to try to keep the people who can least afford being unemployed, that is part of your team, stay around. And you all know that economic downturn are horrible. They are difficult times for leaders, for CEOs, for business owners. And I know most of you are not sleeping very well. But the good news is that these rough times, you can use these times to make positive changes inside your business, in your business model, your processes and automation tools, as well as your team, that will be to put you in the best position when the upturn arrives. Now let's talk about technology needs. You need to look at your operational processes and system that you use to run your business. With the unique circumstances, we're all facing working away from home, working away from your office, staying at home. And this has given exposure to a host of new tools in the market. I never heard of Zoom before, and now I use it all the time. And Zoom, as well as email autoresponders and automated workflow, can have a big impact on your business. Working from home is going to be the new normal, and it might carry your business through even after COVID-19. So it's very important and take this opportunity to rethink how you might digitize and use technology and automation to make your business leaner and more efficient and productive. And making adjustments to your business operations is crucial in staying in business in today's situation. You need to revisit your workforce need and technology need to be able to address your new value proposition. Next, please. Now let's go to the financial part of your business model. It's very important to look at your financial metrics. Where are you at with your cash flow? Because cash flow is the lifeline of your business. It is required so that you can buy your inventory, pay employees, secure financing, and ultimately keep the motor running. According to the US Bank study, 82% of failed small business attributes their failure to poor cash flow management or poor understanding of how cash flow contributes to a healthy business. In looking over your cash flow, where do you see yourself? Is it healthy and will remain healthy 3 months, 6 months, or a year from now? If not, ask yourself this question. Do you need capital injection, or you need to cut your expenses to survive your current situation? And you can do both. Next, please. Marble, next, please. So now let's talk about capital injection. Okay, I listed 2 ways of capital injection. One is through grants and loans. Because of COVID-19, we are fortunate enough to have the federal government providing money through PPP and EIDL, and most of you know, as well as our grants from the county and the state. So you need to, if you need capital injection through grants and loans, it's very important for you to access that. I will talk about it later, but you can always rely on AHANA to help you access loans and grants. As for generating cash flow from your business, here are the things that you can do to help your cash flow projection. The first one, it's very important to collect sooner. Meaning, when the economy is booming, letting your invoices go for days or even weeks past due doesn't seem like a big deal. Today it is. There's no time to be passive because the funds you're not being paid are likely going to another collector who's making more noises. I know a lot of medical clinics, sometimes they wait 30 days to send invoices to their clientele and to the insurance. And then they wait another 30 days to get paid. This is not the time for it. So one way of capital injection is collecting sooner. Also collect on your accounts receivables, the IOUs. Talk to your customers, explain your situation, and empathize with their situation, and work out a deal that will help both of you. I know people are having a hard time paying their debt. It's going to get worse. So try to negotiate a deal that would work for both of you. So generating cash from your business also includes selling gift certificates for your business in a discounted way. So if you sell gift certificates, a lot of businesses are doing this. It provides cash flow into your business right away. Or a set of discount specials. A lot of businesses are bundling their products and services together and provide a discount pricing for this. Okay, if they pay cash in advance. So this might help you. If not, you can always get paid through installment. At least you will get paid. So there are many ways and innovative ways to do this. Okay, so think of your capital injection, think of grants and loans, think of innovation to bring in cash into your business. So this will be part of your new business model today as the crisis continue. Could we move to the next slide, please? Now let's talk about the other side of the equation, which is cutting expenses. You know, this is very important in surviving COVID-19 as a business owner. You need to be fiscally conservative in today's situation. So you need to cut down on major expenses that you have, because with your change of business model, it also changes your financial situation. Take your business temperature by looking at your cash balance in terms of how many payrolls, because payroll is a big chunk of money for a lot of businesses. You can fund if revenues dries up. You know, your employees are the most valuable assets. So while downsizing might seem like an inevitable conclusion, consider the alternative. Before you reduce salary, figure out whether you can reduce hours. You can eliminate overtime. You can offer voluntary retirement to those folks who are that age so that they can start getting their Social Security. Or you can temporarily place your full-time employees on part-time status. Or another way is you can contract things out. You know, sometimes based on your assessment, contracting some of the services that you used to do might be cheaper. There are also other non-essential expenses that you need to consider. You know, if you're doing business trips, are those business trips necessary at this time when Zoom and other tools are available to connect with your clientele elsewhere? Because as a financial advisor, I used to travel all over to visit with my clients. But now it's going to be very difficult because it gets very expensive to travel. How about non-essential inventories that you have? Because sometimes we forget that we continue to order things that we don't need because it becomes automatic if we've been doing it for a long time. How about advertisements that are obsolete and not really addressing the needs of your customers? And I know you have subscription to magazines and organizations. So some of these things might not be essential at this time that you need to cut. Okay. You can also reach out to your suppliers. Maybe you can negotiate a discount for some of the things that you need. Or if you can't pay in 30 days, maybe you can extend it to 60 days. Because your suppliers are also in tune with what's going on with their customers. And they will actually help out. Your mortgage companies, always explain your situation and make a deal. Or your rent, if you're renting your office, if they want, you know, since you've been there for a long time and they know your situation, you can negotiate a rent decrease. So there are many things that you can do to cut down on your expenses so that you will have a positive cash flow when you're reassessing your cash flow projection. And managing your cash flow should be both short-term and long-term. But these are the times that we need to learn how to be more resourceful in how to address our cash flow shortage because of the pandemic. So next, please. So now let's talk about available resources, grant resources for your business as part of your capital injection. I don't know if you heard of this low list partnership small business grant. I think they give up to $10,000 to small businesses. And I think the beginning of the application is July 27. But you can visit this link so that you can look at it. Another one is if you're a woman business owner, you can go through this link. It's globalgiving.org. They give up to $5,000 for women business owners or a nonprofit owned by or run by women. Okay. And then you have the PPP forgivable loans. If you guys have not done it, and you have to apply for the forgivable loan, as well as the EIDL advanced grant. Okay, like I said earlier, you can go through AHANA and request help in accessing this available grants. So next, please. So there are more available resources. in terms of grants that we will let you know. Spokane County recently announced that they will provide $10 million to help small businesses in Spokane. And they're working out the process. And I'll make sure that you all know when this thing arrives, as well as you can go to our website, ahana-miba-ahana.org, and we will announce it there. And you know, to compete for this grant, make sure your business is registered with state of Washington and it's up to date. If not, you will disqualify yourself. And also you need to do update with your labor and industries. Okay, because you're competing with other small businesses. 10 million is not a big chunk. Okay, so if you're competing with them, make sure you're a legit business and you're up to date with your registrations, etc. Okay, so next, please. So for loans, the city of Spokane has announced a month ago that they are providing loans to small businesses. I think you can go up to 30,000. They still have money, and it's a 1% interest, and it's a loan. And you have to register through Craft 3, which is that they work with. But with this loan, you have to have a very good credit score, because this is actually federal government money. So when you're dealing with the federal government, they have certain guidelines that are more rigid than other loans. So it's pretty good if you can if you have a good credit score credit. And then you have SBA PPP and EIDL, as I said earlier. And Craft 3 is also a lender. So if you've been refused by a bank, Craft 3 will fund you. And there's also a SNAP Micro Enterprise. And these are available loans. And if you need help with them and preparing your financial package, you can always request help from AHANA. So next, please. There are also available legal resources out there that we have had a hard time accessing before. We have partnered with a King County organization called Communities Rise. They provide free legal clinics to small businesses and nonprofit that is COVID-19 related. If you're having problem with your landlord, if you're having problem with your business contracts, etc., they will provide support for you free of charge. All you need to do is register at their website, communitiesrise.org, and they will provide those support. Next. So the next part of your business model is basically don't do your business by yourself. Okay, a lot of businesses that I've known have gotten in trouble, and then they call me when they are already deep in trouble, which is very impossible to turn around. So don't be shy, because there's a lot of mentors out there and they don't charge you. It's a free of charge. And I've known many successful businesses who have used these mentors and today are doing very well despite the COVID-19. So I listed 4 websites here that you have to look at. AHANA-MIBA.org, that's our organization. SpokaneScore.org, I'm also a score counselor. They provide many services, and they have about 50 score counselors addressing different aspects of businesses. SBDC, Small Business Development Center, is also providing counselors to businesses. And lastly, communitiesrise.org, they provide legal support. So next. So now we can have questions and answers.
All right, thank you, Ben. Using the chat format, since we have just a small amount of people online with us, you can also feel free to unmute if you want to and ask the question directly. And I know that we're already a little past the hour, so we'll give it a little bit of time. And if you have a question, go ahead and ask. And if not, then we'll do some closing remarks.
I had one little comment.
Hello,
Can you
Alan.
hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, Alan.
Oh, hey, first of all, I just wanted to make a little comment. I wanted to thank you and Ben for your years of service to our community, all the tireless work that you guys have done to help us all out. So I just want to let you know I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Alan.
I didn't really have a question. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
I do have a question, Ben.
Okay.
Thank you for the webinar. It was very current, just what we need at this time. My question is it possible to apply for the PPP more than once? If we already got money from the PPP, can we apply again?
No, you can only apply one time to PPP. If you received the PPP money, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, you just have to wait for other loans. You can only apply once.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the PPP has been extended until August 15th. Is that the right date?
Yes, August 15th, because they have more money in the pot.
What do you know about the forgiveness process? Because I have the form already filled out, but I haven't been able to submit it. They said that they are not receiving applications for the forgiveness yet.
Your bank is not receiving it, is not accepting it?
Not yet.
Okay.
I understand there's an 8-week, and then they extended it.
They extended it, yeah. But you can apply for it now. I don't understand why the bank is not accepting it. Maybe it's their internal issue. But the SBA says you can apply now.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
talk to them.
Yeah.
Great question, Maria. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay. So, Ben, I'll go ahead and do some closing remarks, and then we'll end our.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So, thank you again, Ben, for the excellent presentation. We hope to see you next week. Thank you again for attending. And again, we will make this available online. So have a good day, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Nice to see you all.